Hi, Mittens is here. I'm Christy Wilhelmi from Gardenerd. Today, I want to talk to you about this season's biggest problem, which is cabbage loopers and cabbage moths. They lay their eggs underneath the leaves of brassicas like cabbage, kale, broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, all of those cruciferous vegetables. And when they do, they often go unnoticed. So I want to show you how to identify them and how to prevent them from feasting on your plants. Let's start with how to identify. When you look under the leaf of a brassica plant, you will find a tiny little chartreuse dot. And it is the egg of the cabbage moth and cabbage looper. It's really tiny, it can be hard to find, but it does stand out from the leaf. It isn't flush against the leaf. These eggs hatch into tiny little fuzzy green worms that eventually grow in size and begin to show damage on the plant. You don't often see their droppings, although you will if they get big enough. You'll see their droppings around, black tiny poop bits. That's what they look like. And that will help you narrow the field if you are finding damage in the garden. Now, how to protect against them. There are 3 ways you can do this. I prefer one of the first 2, but I'll cover them all just so you know what to look for. First of all, floating row cover. I've talked about floating row cover a lot. It is my best and favorite way of preventing things from nibbling on these guys, and it is a white gauzy fabric that you can put over the top of plants, pin it down in the corners, and it will prevent, it's a physical barrier to prevent them from actually nesting on the leaves themselves and dropping their eggs on the plant. The second is bird netting, and that works only if you have supports like hoops or stakes around the perimeter and in the center of the bed, because they can't fly through the bird netting, but they can lay eggs through it if it's touching the leaves. Oh, stop. Look who's here. Hi. You want to say hi to everybody? Yeah. Look, Mittens is here. Yeah. Say hi. She's just like, get me out of here. So the third method is one that I don't use, but I will tell you about it in case you haven't heard of it before. It's called Bacillus thuringiensis. It's a bacterial spray known as BT, and you'll find that on your nursery shelves in the organic section, where it's labeled as an insect spray, safe for organic gardening. Bacillus thuringiensis is a bacteria that is, when ingested by the critter, or it penetrates them, it ruptures their intestinal lining, and so that's how they end up dying. Again, I don't use it, but if you have a larger area where you have trouble hand inspecting every other day, which is how often I recommend doing it, then that's what to use. But honestly, it takes me less than a few minutes to just check the undersides of each leaf each day for those little tiny eggs and brush them off with my thumb. Now, there is a difference between cabbage moths and cabbage loopers. Those moths look different. Cabbage moths have white gossamer wings with black diamonds on them, and they usually flit around in pairs, but often singly, and they're about yay big. Cabbage loopers, on the other hand, are brown and tend to be smaller, and their caterpillars arch when they move, whereas cabbage moth caterpillars don't. So I usually keep my plants protected with floating row cover with pins all around the edge until they push up and are too big to protect. And then I switch to hand inspection. If you are bringing home nursery plants rather than growing them yourself from seed, there is a strong possibility that you will find caterpillars on your plants. You may not see them, they may be just tiny eggs at that stage, but keep inspecting, and as soon as you see any evidence of damage, get in there and look for them and remove them. I just brush them off with my thumb. The bigger ones you pull off and drop to the ground and squish under your mighty shoe. Or you can feed them to your chickens if you have them like we do. In the end, diligence is key. Inspect your plants every other day and you will take care of the problem without really very much effort at all. If you like this video, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can find out when our next video comes online. Find information like this and so much more in Gardening for Geeks, and of course check out my new book coming out in March 2021, Grow Your Own Mini Fruit Garden. Happy gardening!